let's talk about Sonnet 2 of the Bloodless Blade. Just like last time, I'm not going to reread the whole sonnet as a single piece, but I am going to go through line by line and explain. As you can see, Sonnet 3 is already over here. I'm writing this, I'm recording this. I'm actually recording this having written all the first 9 sonnets, so we're going back a bit here. I've taken my time to get back and start explaining, but regardless, let's start at the top here. The people of my town despair of war. So this is coming from the previous sonnet, where we saw he gazed upon the man who'd come to kneel with hope of kinship past raised his appeal. So this is the petitioner. This is the petitioner speaking now. The people of my town despair of war. So here's the conflict. There's a war coming. What is this war? We don't know yet. Whose end you might see brought before its start. So this is why he's here. He thinks the prince can end this war before it even begins. A traveler across our bridge spoke of a score. So the score I'm using here as a sort of like someone took offense. So it's like a score against your reputation. I mean, I've got that in the next line that it's against the reputation, but you know what I mean. So yeah, they learned this from some passing traveler that there's been some reputational damage to someone against a reputation from the heart. So what I'm saying here is that this offense that was taken was to something that really wasn't intended to be offensive. This was something that was just someone speaking their mind and really wasn't trying to be offensive, but they did offend someone anyway. She spoke her part without thought of caprice. Again, repeating the same thing, by lords who'd seal bend to their command. Now this is trying to add a new element here by saying, hey, she didn't realize how corrupt these lords are. Now we don't know who she is yet, but she didn't realize that these lords are very, very egotistical, very corrupt people. She just spoke because she usually speaks. She usually just speaks without thinking because she's usually allowed to. Now of your kingdom he would have his peace. So she is someone from the kingdom. She is someone from this kingdom, and that is why the prince is going to be able to, or the petitioner thinks the prince is going to be able to stop this war. And then we have, no slight or ardor will be fit to stand as just enough a reason armies clash. What he's saying here is, there is no reason this lord who's been offended could say, hey, armies, go fight a war. No one wants to do that. No one wants to just go to war for no reason. So he's going to have to come up with some other reason than, someone hurt my feelings. I'm so sad. Like, no, you can't do that. So then, to us his eyes now wander for a claim. So it's his town. To his town, this lord's now looking for a way to start a war, that he must burn your palace down to ash. That's kind of a continuation of the same line there. So this town is in some way going to be an excuse for this lord, this neighboring lord, to wage war. Our taxes paid both ways he'll use to frame a threat against the borders of his lands. So what he's saying here is, hey, we are a border kingdom. Or not a kingdom. We are a border town. We sit on a border and we get taxed by both kingdoms. And it's a very convenient, well, actually, there's a later sonnet that deals with that in length, so I'm not going to deal with it now. But basically, the idea is they're sitting on the border of the two kingdoms and they get taxed by both. And that's a convenient excuse to go to war. And then we have, and flames will salt the river we once spanned. I initially said scorch here. So I initially said, and flames will scorch the river we once spanned. I went with salt instead to kind of evoke the idea of salting the land. No one's ever going to be able to live there again. So sort of our houses will be burned down and our land will be salted. We're going to be displaced or killed in some way. So that's what he's scared of happening if this war ends up occurring, because obviously it's going to be fought over this town. So let me know what you think, and I'll see you tomorrow for Sonnet 3. Subscribe if you want to see more.